Alright, we are going to leave the Mary Hogan Tavern spot and drive to GEIN'S land down County Highway D. To the neighbors of Mary Hogan's bar, they had seen a dark colored truck leaving the scene at a high rate of speed around 5 o'clock-ish. One of the neighbors had said that they had seen a tarp in the back of the truck. And it was just, flopping around, flying in the breeze. Wasn't really weighted down too well, but was weighted down enough to not completely fly out of the truck, as far as we know. But according to the sheriff, this person was not able to see what the cargo was under that tarp that was blown around.
In a quarter of a mile, continue straight.
And the neighbor that had found her, I think he went in there around like 5:15. His name was Seymour
Continue
Lester.
Straight.
Seymour Lester is his name. And he had immediately called police. I believe the police showed up around 6:20-ish, and they had put out a statewide alert to be on the lookout for the dark truck and to, check all the trucks, beds of the trucks, and all over the state they were looking for this truck. And the neighbor also said that the truck had like wooden racks on it, and I know what they mean when they say that because I grew up out in the country, but they're like built up on the side of the truck to like keep in cattle like pigs or sheep. I don't know why he had them, but so yeah, Seymour Lester found Mary Hogan, and there was not many leads. They followed up on everything they could. Mary Hogan had no relatives in the area, and I'm not really sure where her father and sister were at that time. And then her case went cold for 3 years. Almost exactly 3 years. And what's crazy to think about is if he hadn't decided to take Bernice Worden's life on November 16th of 1957, how long would have it taken for him to be caught, would it have been more, like, how many more years, or would it have maybe ended up like, of course, the Dahmer case is way after the GEIN case, but would it have ended up like that, like where there were just so many people missing, and, maybe he had what Dahmer would call the compulsion to keep doing what he was doing. Yeah, I'm just curious how long it really would have taken for him to be caught if he wasn't caught for Bernice Worden. Because the only reason he was caught...
In a quarter of a mile, turn right.
The only reason he was caught was because there was a receipt with Edward GEIN written on it for a half a gallon of antifreeze. Her son, Frank Worden, who was also a sheriff and the fire chief in Plainfield,
turn right,
is the one who found the gruesome discovery at the warden's hardware shop that he ran with his mother as well. And he didn't have the key. So deer hunting season, it's a huge thing here in Wisconsin. Like, every single man that can hold a freaking gun is out there hunting in the woods. And Ed Gein had gone into the hardware store the day previous and asked Frank Warden if, you're going to go deer hunting, etc., etc. And he's like, yeah, first thing in the morning, da-da-da-da-da. So Ed Gein was feeling out the scene before he even committed the crime. He was figuring out who would be where, and all the men would be out of town for hunting. So it would be a perfect time to do it, right? So when Frank Warden got back from hunting, he went up to the store and it was locked. He's like, he didn't have his key on him. He went across the street to the gas station and asked, like, hey, did you see my mom leave? What's going on? And the clerk had said that he had watched the work truck of the warden's work truck, because sometimes they hired local boys to do deliveries for them.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left.
So the clerk had said he had seen that work truck leaving pretty quickly, fast, earlier that day, but he was not able to see who was actually driving the truck. But, so Frank Warden went home, grabbed his key, walked into the store, and found the bloody scene of it all. And he also found the cash register had been rifled through. All the money was gone. And part of me makes me think that maybe he was really broke. Like, he didn't have a lot of money. And when his mother died, he sold off like the farm equipment and the last few livestock that they had to pay for his mother's funeral. And allegedly not one single townsperson showed up to her funeral. But, Ed praised his mother, and God Almighty, mightier than God above, was his mother in his perception. And that's the way he raised him. That's the way she raised him. So I wonder, since he was really broke and he was just getting some side gigs around town of like babysitting and just like some handyman work, fixing stuff. And apparently he really liked babysitting, and he got along with the kids better than older people, which I can see why. I mean, he probably wasn't all there, he wasn't like adult level mentally. Obviously he wasn't all there. I mean, that guy's not just a brick short of a load. He's the whole load short. He doesn't have any of the...
In half a mile, turn right. Turn right.
So apparently Gein liked to go for women, like as in dig up or kill, that reminded him of his mother. And it is believed that he was trying to recreate his mother and like resurrect her from the dead. And he said he did go out to his mother's grave when she had passed and they finally buried her, and he was trying to resurrect her, and it didn't work, obviously. He said that he thought he could that he was strong enough to bring her back. And then when he couldn't do that, he decided that, they believe that he decided the next best thing was to try and create his mother. But at the same time, yeah, he was trying to recreate his mother, but at the same time, he also did say he was intrigued about transsexual, and he wanted to be a woman, and he had read about in some magazine he read about like a successful operation overseas, I believe it was, and he said that had given him hope. I don't really know much more about that. If I do find out more information, I will definitely report back on that. So yeah, when he robbed these women after he killed them, I'm thinking it was because he was broke and he didn't have any money. And he also said that a lot of the people...
In a quarter of a mile, turn right.
A lot of people in the neighborhood would just take advantage of him and like not pay him for the work he's done, or like he obviously owned all that land. I believe it was over 100 acres. That's a lot of land. And
turn right.
one of the farmers didn't pay him the $10 a year that he was supposed to. Apparently paid him the first year and never paid him after that. So that's a hard thing, especially when you want to rent your land out and you don't want to screw the farmers over. Yeah, especially when you want to rent your land out and you don't want to start drama with your neighbors, you know. My family used to rent out land to the neighbors, and that never happened, luckily. And we also got free fertilizer for our garden. Our huge garden was right next to their field, and they would spray it for us. Not saying it smelled good, but everyone out there was a country kid, and we all smelled like manure when we went to school for the most part. Most of the other kids were up at the ass crack of dawn milking cows. That would suck. So we are approaching the GEIN'S residence, or property, I should say. So, I believe it was about 10 days before the auction, about 10 days-ish, that there was a mysterious fire at the house, and it burned the house to the ground. And everyone here believes, and I also believe, in my opinion, and I don't blame them, that the townspeople probably helped burn it down. Allegedly, there was like a cleaning...
In 1,000 feet, you will arrive at your destination.
Allegedly, there was a cleaning crew out there burning garbage. So they had said, oh, maybe some of the cleaning crew garbage set this on fire. But there was actually like no trail from where they were burning garbage to the house. I mean, I guess it's possible, like an ember.
You have arrived.
Could have. This is the GEIN'S property. So yeah, I'm guessing like an ember could have caught the house on fire, but I seriously doubt it. What was it? Still winter? I think it was like in March-ish. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say it was like March that they were going to put the property up for sale and all of his belongings. They did end up having the auction. I'm going to get out here and talk a little bit. I'll probably do another video because there's just so much information. So they did end up having the auction. Let me zoom out here and get it. And the auction took place while the coals were still smoldering. There is a video clip online that I will share via email with Jay and the other mods. So right here, this is the property. This is the northeast corner. We are on the corner of 2nd and Archer. Look at this. There's one house. I'm really hoping no one drives out here while I'm doing this. The locals really, really don't like people coming out here for GEIN. So yeah, the auction went on and people dug through the debris and they sold what they could. That were the things that were left in the sheds. This is crazy, you guys. I'm standing right where, you know, where Ed Gein drove by a million times. And I think I see a walking trail. Unless that's an animal walking path. Meh. What the? I just got a whiff of some really good flowers. That was weird. I don't even see anything that would smell that good. That's totally weird. So yeah, this is the gate. I'm assuming the driveway, I'm assuming the house was right here where this clearing is. And the driveway would have gone around that side of the house on the south side. And they talk about there being a woodshed on the outside, or connected to the house where they had found Bernice. This is where it happened, guys. Someone was burning something. So someone has, yeah, there's definitely been people out here. I felt bad for coming on property. That's not mine, but people have been out here. You can see it. There's that house over there. Ah, there's skeeters. Get out of here. Ah! Freaking mosquitoes love me. There's a little outbuilding over here. Freaking skeeters. Oh, they love me. I have O positive blood. What the fuck is that? Oh, sage burning. Something is tapping around in this tree. Zoom up. Oh my gosh, I'm getting swarmed by skeeters. Okay, real quick here. Outbuilding. Ah, skeeters. But yeah, GEIN'S property. So just to get a refresher, this wasn't even 100 years ago that this happened. Sorry, I'm freaking out over the bugs. Ow! Ah! There's a fire. I don't know how these people don't think they're not going to get in trouble, but whatever. Ah! Holy shit. I just got caught on that. It scared me. Oh my god. Stop it. They followed me out here to the road. So law enforcement found Bernice's body the day he shot Bernice, and they immediately went out here to look for him. Holy crap, I just had like five skeeters on me. So yeah, law enforcement came out here. He wasn't here. And then they went over to a neighbor's. I believe their last name was Hill, because he hung out there a lot. And they owned a grocery store, so Miss Hill was going to relieve Mr. Hill from his duty at the grocery store. And the cops came in asking where GEIN was, and he was actually on his way into town, or uptown, whatever, to see what the commotion was about, because Miss Hill's son wanted to go see what was going on. This is still a dirt road, you guys. Oop, don't walk in there. Beautiful. Ah! I had to stop and enjoy the butterflies. Maybe I'll just drive down this road. I can't stand this